Week 4 of the fantasy basketball season's on its way tonight here with a good slate of games. Here's a few forwards, though, that shouldn't be on your roster, and you should drop them here heading into Week 4. The first guy's Bojan Bogdanovic, the prize free agent signing of the Atlanta Hawks, and so far, even before he went out with a knee fracture, Bogdanovic, he just wasn't producing anything good for fantasy owners or the Hawks at that point. DeAndre Hunt has been starting over him. Gallinari, they signed also, obviously, to a contract, but he went down with injury. And now with this bad injury, he was a guy, Bogdanovic, that I was recommending to drop possibly before the injury and before I filmed this video. But now with the injury and the lack of production, he's a guy I would drop right away right now and get someone else on the waiver wire. Because if he's out 4 to 6 weeks and plus he wasn't producing, and with Gallinari coming back and Hunter, who's been getting better as the games go on, I don't think Bojan is going to have a big role in that Atlanta Hawk offense. Even though they paid him all that money, they might be regretting it by season's end. So I think it's safe to drop him in 10 and 12 team leagues. The second player I would drop at forward is Kuzma, the Los Angeles Lakers. We saw Caldwell Pope come back, and he started in this game. And Kuzma, he got relegated to the bench versus the Rockets, but he did have 13 points he scored in 23 minutes. But Kuzma, in the few starts he got this season, he just couldn't take advantage of the starting role, and he couldn't have really big ball games. So I think Kuzma, he's a player I would drop. He's owned in about 30% of fantasy leagues, but he shouldn't be owned in many leagues at all. Horton Tucker, I think, is going to be having a bigger role than him in a few weeks. And Kuzma, he, for whatever reason, just can't get it going like he did the first few seasons with Los Angeles. I don't know if he needs the ball in his hands more or playing with LeBron and Anthony Davis doesn't help his facts and his playing for Kyle Kuzma. So Kuzma, I think I would get rid of him and dropping him. And the third and final forward I would drop here is Paul Millsap, the Denver Nuggets. Paul Millsap, he's been a great player and fantasy player for years now, but I think Father Time is catching up to Paul Millsap, and he's just not producing enough stats to be warrant of a fantasy roster spot right now. The last few games, he's only getting 6 to 8 points per game with 3 or 4 rebounds, and he's playing about 20-25 minutes at most, is Paul Millsap. So that's not good numbers. In deeper leagues, obviously, 14 and 16 team leagues, you keep him. But 10 and 12 team leagues, Millsap's cuttable with better options on the waiver wire this week. So that's a few forwards I would drop here heading into Week 4 of the fantasy basketball season.